What up, y'all booling? Y'all being it with the homies?
Yeah, I'm booling.
Congratulations, Atlanta and Pennsylvania and your suburbs. Not the rest of the motherfuckers. Shit, somebody was talking shit in New York, and we zoomed in on that map of New York, friends. New York is barely blue. I just want y'all to know that New York is blue by the sheer concentration of people in Manhattan or in its boroughs.
Not even all of them. Now you go look at Queens. Queens is a toss up.
Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody but Miami Cubans.
Yeah, fuck y'all niggas.
Oh God. My name is Ty St. Louis.
And I am Scissor 215. Yeah.
You're not Courtney from Clubhouse today?
Nah, not today. Nah.
Just trying to smooth out my edges. I am not an American citizen. However, I'm very proud of you American citizens in the way that despite let me take that back. I am proud of Black folks and people in inner cities for the way that you have managed to circumvent this country's no longer ignorable levels of racism. Because we shouldn't still be trying to figure out who won this shit. This shit should not be this close. After 4 years of a president that literally does not know how to do his job, that literally got fired from his job. The Republican Party, I feel like I said this around the time of the primaries or whatever, but like I really feel like the Republican Party could have saved us this whole headache by just being like, nah, nigga, you can't run again. We good. Don't clock in yet. Come meet us in the conference room.
But they were fully on board with the fuckery. Like, you gotta realize, like, I'm looking at, let's just take somebody like Marco Rubio, right? I'm not even gonna take Lindsey Graham's bitch ass. I'm gonna take somebody like Marco Rubio, right? In 2016, when Marco Rubio ran for president, you kind of had this feeling like he's not that bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until he was. Like, he really showed us his true colors. Because not only did he get degraded by Donald Trump, he got his balls clipped and then became one of Trump's staunch supporters and allies. And the shit's crazy. Ted Cruz talks shit about your wife. You know, like, you can just go down a list of people who Donald Trump emasculated, you know, or talked stuff about or whatever. And then these are the same people out here caping for this dude. They should have gone the route of saying, we don't know this nigga.
Right. But that didn't happen.
No, but you know why? But
they were trying to give themselves the best chance of winning. You don't go against a sitting president. Whatever.
Right. But Trumpism is not gone. And a lot of those folks have to be that way because the younger part of the Republican Party is bringing that Trump energy, and it's going to exist past Trump getting out of it.
And this is the point that I'm trying to get to. Like, Trump is not our problem, guys. Look at that fucking map. Trump by himself is not the problem.
Nah.
These people, now, he is a symptom of the problem, and it's almost like when you have, I don't know, some autoimmune disease, and then COVID comes in and kills you. I picked those two things on purpose. Because this man is sitting there, and we know, I mean, it's not just his base. Like, people don't fucking read. People listen to whoever their chosen person is that they're going to listen to, right? If Jay-Z came on the internet and said certain shit, it's a gang of niggas that would repeat that shit without doing an iota of research. Y'all would not even look to try to make sure that he spelled the shit correctly. Y'all wouldn't.
Absolutely.
And similarly, when Trump says shit, his base does not go and look it up. So if he's sitting there screaming they stealing the election, these niggas is really riding on fucking poll workers who are counting these votes and saying, oh, they stole the election. Nigga, this is how it works. This is how it's always worked. The fuck you mean? What do you mean? These ain't new rules they put in place for you, nigga. Like, people voted. They had until until election day to get those ballots in. Those ballots have to be counted, period and point blank. If there's anything that needs to be fixed or addressed with any of the absentee ballots, people had until today at 5 p.m. to address those things, period, point blank. Like, that's how it fucking works. Do you know how this country works that you're trying to run?
Or they don't.
They don't.
At the end of the day, we're also in a global pandemic that is getting worse.
Getting worse.
So the choice was, if I care about my health and the people around me, I am going to vote early. I'm going to vote by mail. I'm going to do the best to keep myself safe. Trump people still don't believe the pandemic is real.
They really don't.
Clearly, they haven't seen enough people suffer. So even now, you see them protesting, they still out there with no masks on.
With no masks.
Like, yo, we're breaking records every day now for new cases. Mm-hmm. This shit ain't nowhere near done. It's worse than it's ever been. You know what I'm saying?
On the low, I watched somebody the other day, somebody that I follow on Twitter who I don't know personally. Last week, the week before last, she was tweeting about all these events that she was going to, listening party here and release party there and whatever. This week, I saw her tweet, "Are y'all seeing these IG stories?" And I'm like, "What about Atlanta?" And I'm like, "What IG stories about Atlanta?" Apparently, like, there's a crazy spike of cases going around a certain set of people, young Black people would be my guess, that, you know, just spent the whole summer. Listen, Atlanta gave us amazing, like, Atlanta, y'all think people just moved down here, or men just moved down here because of fat asses. That might be what it is. And cheap real estate. That also might be what it is. I will tell you that I have stayed in Atlanta. The shit, every time I get ready to leave Atlanta, we have a day like today. Not a cloud in the fucking sky. It's 72 degrees outside. It's going to be chilly tonight, but it ain't going to be cold. It's just going to be just chilly enough for you to go post up under somebody's chair. This weather, we had great summer weather. We didn't hit 95, not one time. Like, it wasn't hot. People were outside enjoying this. And in the summer lasted up until like 2 weeks ago. Like, it wasn't cold until 2 weeks ago. Well, now, friends, here we are.
Here we are.
So yeah, in any case,
we knew it was coming.
We now have our 46th president. We're just waiting for 45 to accept that he's been dumped. But you know, like the bum ass bitch that he is, he gonna wait until the very last day that he has to go respond to that eviction notice. Draw this shit out 2 more weeks.
Okay, he gonna go to court.
And then he gonna go to court and ask for 2 more weeks, knowing good and damn well that he not paying that rent.
We got to send the sheriff for this nigga. For this stuff right out the front door.
Right out the front door. Melania's packed.
She been packed.
But this nigga knows that when he leaves, he's heading to jail.
Or
to Russia.
I think Putin said we don't want no losers.
Did you go find a blue cup on purpose?
I did not.
Oh, but shit. You want green. Shout to Philadelphia, goddammit.
Look, Pennsylvania's blue, Georgia's blue. We did our,
you know what I'm saying? Shouts to Pennsylvania. I'm going to give Pennsylvania extra props because I don't think that Pennsylvania's attorney general is going to demand a recount, or whoever it was in Georgia that demanded a recount. I don't think that's going to happen.
Because we're a fucking democratic state. There's a democratic governor, there's a democratic AG. I mean, not that that's the point. The point is that they're not there for the fuckery. There are it's a bipartisan situation. Let's not pretend it's Donald Trump. It's not Republicans. It's not Democrats. There are Republicans and Democrats watching the votes being counted and all that cool shit. The process is working. All right.
Yes.
The only thing that happened for our viewers who are conspiracy theorists or whatever is because there's a pandemic. The votes came in from mail, and they could not start counting the votes in Pennsylvania until 7:00 the morning of, I believe, Tuesday. So that's why they didn't do it early. It would have been.
And it's something similar in Nevada.
Yeah,
where they had to wait until, like, I think the polls closed before they started counting. Also, you know, I'm assuming if people had to go ride horses to go vote, I'm assuming that there might have been some kind of animal labor involved in the bringing of the ballots. Regardless, Arizona is counting this thing like a Windows 95 update on dial-up. We might be here till Monday.
I mean, but listen, if they
were on 75% all day yesterday.
They were. But if they counted them too fast, then we get complaints. I mean, you really can't win.
True.
You know, I think I've been up day and night, and CNN, MSNBC, NBC, whatever, wherever I can get my election fix, that shit's been on my TV. I'm looking at it right now because this shit is absolutely important. And I think all of America, we waiting for that moment. We're waiting for that exhale moment because because in 2016 I remember waking up like,
and
what
it was clear.
fuck?
We knew.
Like, are you serious? So, you know.
And we knew, you know what I mean? So at least, like, look, he could throw, like, he is literally throwing a fit. Imagine being at a store or being on an airplane or being wherever with somebody and a badass child who's throwing a fucking tantrum and you looking at their mama like, my nigga, can you do something about this little nigga? Please. Like, please, just shut him up. Do you want me to come over there? Like, and you as a black parent or auntie will look at that little child and catch his eye and grit your teeth and he knows what that means and he'll stop for about 2 seconds and then he'll start over. This is what we're going to deal with for the next 2 months. It would take a lot for that nigga to steal the election at this point. It would take a lot. Because, you know, if you look at these numbers, like they might be real, real tight here, but they're not that tight in, you know, Philadelphia is a 4,000 or 5,000 difference. Arizona is like almost like a 10,000, 13,000. It's not enough.
And it's growing because all those ballots are still coming in. So.
Right. And I'm just really, really waiting to see at which point the Republican Party says, hey, buddy, you're in the way now. Just like, go ahead and, you know what I mean? Let niggas move on and go do it.
They want to talk about potential fraud and, you know, it might be this and it might be that. Y'all went to court. In most of these states, they've already gone to court. And it's like the judges have been like, I don't see it.
Right. And, you know, I think that this is where, like you said, it's, you know, the issue, the Republicans have enabled him, but, you know, I think this is where we get to the point where like the grownups want to get back to work.
Right. Yeah.
It's a distraction.
We got real shit going on.
We dealing with a pandemic. You know what I mean? Like niggas has got to figure out what they're going to do with their kids in the next part of the school year. Them stimulus checks you held up until the election. People are fucked up. People are messed up out here. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if you are listening to us in the state of Georgia, just remember that, you know, currently, or well, shit, not anymore. Currently, Senate is sitting at 48 Democrats and 47 Republicans because Georgia's incumbent Republican Senator Perdue is now in a runoff. And
and Loeffler's also going to be in a runoff.
So well, yeah, but she wasn't holding. Was she actually in?
Yeah. She was. So she took Johnny Isaac's.
Okay. So we have a chance of having 2 Democratic senators in Georgia, which would officially make the Senate a majority Democrat, just like the House is majority Democrat. But also, you know, I've been screaming this all year. And I know people who have been screaming this for many, many, many years. Guys, we can't like just, you know, focus on the presidential election and go back to sleep and wake up 3 years from now and be like, oh my God, this shit is whack. Go vote, register. Nah, nigga. Y'all just voted a bunch of people in, congratulate them on their new jobs, pull up to the office on the first day of work and be like, hey, so here's what you said you would do for us if we got you in here. You in here now. Or, hey, buddy, I live over here. My name is Shay, and I'm from New Rochelle, and I just want to know.
Why you always say?
I want to know. Look, let me tell you. Let me give you an example of what I would be like actively involved with right now, and I think I can be, even though I can't vote. But I just got a text from Color of Change, which is a community organization. They will often send out texts to have you join petitions around issues of police brutality and so on and so forth. I don't know if they're national. I've noticed that a lot of the things I've been getting from them lately have been very local, right? So I don't know.
National. Yeah, I actually met them or one of the representatives in Dallas. So yeah, I believe they're national.
So they sent a text yesterday and it was like, sign this petition demanding that Mayor Bottoms, who is, you know, a real person and not a character from the Powerpuff Girls, that she not veto, or that she veto some bill, which essentially, if I understood it correctly, because there weren't a lot of details, but that would essentially repeal all the reforms that had been made in Atlanta around cash bail and cash bonds. And it's something that they're trying to do as a deterrent to the increase in street racing. Because whether the shit was already bad, but nobody was paying attention before or not, because I know, like in my neighborhood, I didn't realize how noisy my neighborhood was until March, when everybody was inside and it got super quiet. Then I started hearing all kinds of shit I had never heard before. During the pandemic, Atlanta has become acutely aware of a problem with illegal street racing. So they're saying that Michael Julian Bond, who obviously is the son of Julian Bond, who is, a respected public figure here in Atlanta, is trying to push through this bill that would basically repeal whatever reforms they had made on cash bail, and that's going to impact Black people. So ask them not to vote it in. And I'm sitting here like a person who gets awoken in the middle of the night by 50 billion fucking Dodge Chargers driving through my residential block at 60 miles an hour. I don't want to sign that damn petition. What's the alternative?
Yeah. Okay. So
present me an alternative.
I live in Atlanta, and I'm like, street racing? Like, this is the craziest thing to me. Like, this is what we're doing? Like, really? Like, still in the year of our Lord 2020, we're street racing.
Here's the funny thing. Where I live, when you get off of I-20, there's a random ass stretch about a quarter mile where the road just dead ends. So if you make that right, the road just dead ends. If you make a left, it goes on down towards Ralph David Abernathy, whatever, towards the West End. I had been hearing cars the whole time that I've been living here. I was just assuming that they were cars on 20, not realizing that what they do late at night is that little random ass stretch of, quarter mile or whatever. That's where they be drag racing. Wow. So my block is a connector block. If you're on MLK and you're trying to get to 20, you can either drive down like a good 2 miles to hit 20, and then you're, that far off. Or if you're going east, you want to cut through my neighborhood.
Right.
So I hear these cars all freaking day, all night. We all saw the videos of like the people gathered around West End Mall, like in May or so, when a bunch of people got arrested or whatever. This is a thing in Georgia in 2020. And y'all wonder why they still making Fast and Furious movies, because these niggas are still out here too fast.
They're still out here doing
furious.
I thought that was just in music videos.
So all that to say, I'm cool with us not, changing the reform on cash bail, because I get that keeps a lot of people stuck in prison that really don't need to be there, because, they could just be out on their own recognizance. But then I want you to tell me what the fuck we're going to do to stop this noise pollution in my neighborhood, because my dog sleeps. Okay, Kiko doesn't need to be awoken at 1 a.m. by fucking Dodge Chargers in a residential neighborhood. God damn it.
All right, dog mom.
Thanks. Anyway, rap life. It's been a long week again.
Oh man.
Partly because we recorded the last episode on a Thursday and now it's Friday. No, we didn't. Did we?
Yes, we did.
No, we recorded on Wednesday and then there was a hurricane. Remember? Because you didn't have power last Thursday, so we didn't.
I did not have power last Thursday. That's correct. We recorded on the Wednesday.
We had a hurricane, y'all. A hurricane in Georgia in October.
And I was out of power for 2 days.
Kanye West came in 4th in the presidential election.
Out of like, Kanye West isn't even showing up on anybody's television. Like, nobody's even counting. Like last year, in 2016, you had Johnson and Stein, and they like showed up on some like ballots or whatever.
Like Joe Jorgensen.
Right. Yeah. Like, nah, Kanye's not even. He's not on any ballot as far as like had enough votes to be counted as an actual candidate. Like.
Right. And I mean, he wasn't on the ballot in a lot of states, right?
Well, also, I mean, his wife was not supporting his campaign. His friends were not supporting the campaign.
You hate to see it.
Kid Cudi out here with the Biden shirt on. yeah, that just goes to show how serious this nigga never was, and how
Ever.
those of us who didn't take him serious were correct.
That's why, now that he's talking about going to Haiti and doing whatever he claims he's going to go do in Haiti, that's my response. Some of y'all saw my face, some of y'all didn't.
Listen,
but you can imagine.
Shout out to Kim Kardashian, man.
Hmm?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. Listen, when he gets right, he better give that lady. Well, I mean, I think he's already given her all kinds of things. Yeah. And then he gave her like a weird ass hologram of her daddy for her birthday.
Yeah, that was
really fucking weird. And then the hologram of her daddy told her that she married the greatest man on earth and some shit. Nigga, when I get married, says if my husband comes to you and tells you that he's about to give me a hologram of my daddy for any kind of, just tell him no. I don't let him do it.
Nah, no thanks.
Please don't let him do it. All right. I prepped this show 2 days ago. And I feel like some of the things maybe are not worth talking about anymore. So fun fact about Ice Cube, though. I do want to drop that out here. Even if Cube did actually meet with Trump, which I'm hearing that maybe that was not properly reported, apparently Ice Cube has been pulling up on presidents since Bush Senior. Pulling up and being like, so hey, my nigga, like, here's what my people want.
I guess none of us knew that.
None of us knew that, which, I blame him. Because right. You should. Especially if you're speaking for us, we should know.
How you gonna be an advocate for folks and they don't know you're advocating? You're advocating for them.
The same thing with he was chosen to kind of be at the forefront of this contract for Black America, but like it's not his contract. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Black America's contract.
With this by himself, but he didn't come up with it by himself.
No,
and he's catching the flack.
Well, that's his fault. He jumped in front of the bullet. So now what? I mean, do you just say, oh, well, I'm going to go talk to Biden? I mean, and here's the thing. He didn't actually talk to Trump. He talked to Trump's people. So that was somebody took that and ran with it too. That man didn't actually get an audience with Trump. Trump ain't sit down with Ice Cube. And then they jacked parts of his plan and took that and made it the platinum plan. So,
which, honestly says, like, if you're going to jack my plan and the end result is me getting my play auntie, my best friend's mom says, I win when I get what I want. So if you want to jack it, if I come to you and I say, hey, let's do A, and you come back to me tomorrow, you say, you know what? I don't want to do A, but let's do A squared.
Right.
And it's the same shit that I asked you for. I'm going to take it. I'm not fighting. But I just, I think that we have a really good opportunity now. We see our power. It's undeniable. All these my votes don't count niggas can shut the fuck up forever.
Please shut the fuck up. Listen.
Forever.
If you are watching this fucking program and you thought that your vote did not count, my nigga, my vote has never counted more.
Literally.
Niggas are winning by, you about to have a presidential election, and this guy is ahead by 1,000 votes, my nigga. That's like the back end of my complex.
Which is, why, like, I feel like while we're talking about abolishing the Electoral College, I also feel like we should talk about, like, look, once we are down to, like, the actual presidential election, no more of this voting for extra niggas, like, outside of the two. Like, whoever, have a second primary if y'all do, but, like, narrow it down to two people and let that be the only two options. Because in Georgia, where we're down to, like, a difference of 1,000 points, Joe Jorgensen got, like, 60,000 votes. In comparison to the 1,400,000 something or other that the two main, so like that 60,000 wasn't gonna do shit for her,
right? But
could have done something for whichever other candidate. I don't know which way they would have went.
Listen, here's what people gotta realize also about politics, right? Politicians' jobs are to invoke the will of the people, and then it's our job to hold them accountable. Right? Uh-huh. Politicians aren't supposed to have positions, right? They're supposed to do what the fuck we tell them. Literally. So whatever it is we want them to do, we're supposed to go to their office and say, look, this is the move as a collective. So we got to figure out our shit first. Then we go to them and say, this is the move. But that's the problem. The problem is we can't coalesce, come together, and say this is what we're doing. When it comes to the case of Trump, he knows how to. I'm gonna talk to this person over here. I'm gonna take you over here. I'm like when he says the art of the deal, that's really some con man shit. Like, yo, I'm gonna tell Saint Boogie, this is what I'm gonna do for you. And then I'm gonna go tell so and so over here, this is what I'm gonna do for you. Y'all might not even fuck with each other. Y'all could be natural born enemies. But he's trying to cut a deal with this person, cut a deal with that person. You know, he's a con man. So, but that's how people move. But for us, we have to go in there and say, this is what is best for us. We have right now, we got our voices. People see Black people. They see everything that's going on with the George Floyds and everything. And, you know, this is our opportunity to really get our shit together and say, this is what we want. We got to do it.
And I think, you know, as much as some people side-eye the idea of non-Black allies, I think this was an awakening for a lot of people. I think 2020, and it's, you know, yeah, like we could roll our eyes and be like, really, my nigga, like we've been telling you this forever and a day. We've been at least telling you about police brutality since 1992. Like, okay, they're late to the party, but they're fucking here. Like, I've really seen like a bunch of people, like Demi Lovato was on Twitter, like damn near crying. Like, why is this race so close? I don't understand. Andrew Yang is over here talking about something. We need to figure out why 68 million people, because they're racist, Andrew Yang. Like, that's why. That's why.
Well, he knows because they're racist against him too. So I saw a nice room in Clubhouse where people were talking about allies, and it was really a room about the Black diaspora and how, you know, we have the conversation all the time that we're not exactly the same, right?
Right.
This one gentleman was talking about the fact that we all have these traumas, whether it be Aborigine, whether it be, you know, the Aztec, whether it be like all these cultures worldwide are disaffected in the same exact way. They just go around and they go to Haiti and they fuck with y'all the way they fuck with y'all. And then they go somewhere else and they fuck with people the way they fuck with people. You know what I'm saying? But it's all the same goal, whether it's Libya or wherever. You know what I'm saying? They all coming from the same playbook.
Shit, so, even Macedonia, even in Europe.
Oh, absolutely. So we have to recognize that and be like, man, we got to gang up and get this type of system the fuck up out of here.
The fuck up out.
These people from these positions, because when we say, "Nah, I'm just gonna be over here with my little pocket of people," it's just not gonna work, bro.
Nope,
it's not gonna work.
All right, so over in the world of music, Spotify announced this week that they are launching a new system that basically allows labels and artists to flag tracks that are a particular priority for them via a discovery mode feature. And that this flagging will then influence the selection of songs that Spotify's algorithm picks out for listeners. Then they get paid extra on the back end from the royalties. So let me explain that to you again. I drop a project, I go in and I say, hey, Spotify, track number 3 is my discovery mode track. This is the track that I want. Spotify is like, all right, bet. All of a sudden, track number 3 starts popping up in all kinds of, and this is like the radio features, the you know, if you play a different album of mine, the songs that are auto suggested afterwards, like that kind of stuff is where it's going to show up. Like, it's not necessarily getting put in playlists per se, but it's getting put into things like your, you know, like when you go in and it gives you like your daily mix, your discovery mode, whatever. And then Spotify, if that track gets streamed, then Spotify gets an extra little cut out of it on the back end. What does that sound like, sis?
This sounds like some bullshit. It sounds like...
What's the word that we're familiar with that it sounds like? That's not legal in radio anymore.
Pay to play?
Payola. That's it.
Yeah, so... I mean, like... And they're announcing this shit. Like, hey, look what we're doing. We're about to give you guys more reason to fucking hate us. We're about to give indie artists a harder time to be discovered. We're about to give record labels more control. We're about to circulate the dollar less. Like, we're about to go in the back room and say, hey, what do you want us to play? All right, cool. Here's some money. All right, we'll play your stuff. We'll put, like, come on, bro.
But no. You're not paying us to play it. We're playing it. And then you going to give us a tip on the back end.
Right. Like, what kind of fuckery is
y'all? You know why this is happening, you guys? Because y'all don't go to bookstores and pick up Donald Passman no more. Y'all don't want to learn the business of music anymore. Y'all just want to be in it. Y'all just want to be cool. That's the same reason why my homegirl last year, we were talking about how people really pay for the rapper experience. Like people pay for World Star, for example. And no shade, no disrespect to World Star, get it how you live.
No. Shade.
People drop $1,500 for World Star to put their video on their front page for an hour. Do you know what you can do in YouTube advertising with $1,500?
A whole fucking lot.
40,000 legit views from people who then come back to your, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not on their platform. It's not on their YouTube page. It's on your page, and it's directing people back to your stuff. Like, you can actually hire an ad agency for $1,500 that will create a whole campaign for you and promote your video on YouTube, on Instagram, on, you know, Facebook, whatever. It's the same way that, like, people will pay to go into a city and, you know, well, we gonna take you to all the radio stations and we gonna introduce you to this DJ and that DJ. When you leave, them niggas ain't playing your records, bro.
At all.
Unless you got some extra money behind it. But y'all don't care. Because you just want to go up there and take a picture. Pulled up on Big Bro, Greg Street. He say he fuck with the campaign. He doesn't.
Yo, you telling too much truth right now.
It's okay. I'm not on Clubhouse. This is my space.
No, listen.
MySpace.
The crazy thing is, we're saying like the same conversations are being had.
I figured. That's why I make the reference. I figured it was that. So, you know, it's the same. So that's why they can come to you and present this to you. And it's just like when you used to make, you know, when you used to fuck with your little sister or your little cousin. And, you know, I am triggered because I am a little sister and a little cousin who had niggas come up to me and be like, you have a $5 bill? What? Wow. Look, how about if I give you 3 $1 bills and you give me your $5 bill? You got 3 bills instead of the 5, the 1 5.
The music industry is still on some fuck shit. Spotify is still on some fuck shit. My problem with Spotify, and it's going to be this, is we have this over fixation on Spotify. Spotify is about 30-something% of the fucking market. Amazon just dropped their artist program. There are other companies out there with artist programs. If you're going the streaming route, you got Deezer for artists, you got all these others, and all we do is talk about Spotify. Spotify is a fucking racket. It's a racket. Get off their dick. They're not doing anything special for you. You're going to spend all your money trying to get on their dumbass playlist, and they're doing this. So you're spending all your money trying to get on a Spotify playlist, and they're in the back room telling the labels, like, hey, let's do this thing.
But I'm going to tell you something else, too. Playlisting has jumped the shark. And what I mean by that is it's almost like how I feel about Clubhouse at this point. Like, I feel like I'm a month and a half late, and it might be too late. It might not ever make sense for me, and it's fine. Like, there was, before playlisting, there was something else that artists felt like was the thing that they had to pay for. I'm trying to remember what it was. I guess probably blog posts, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. No, because remember, I'll tell you the funny part, Submit Hub, when things like Submit Hub came out and they did the whole like blog post thing, and then now Submit Hub does playlists, but blog posts used to be the thing, and there's still some people you can tell when an old nigga hits you up and they still like, yo, I pay for a blog post.
So, you know, from a PR standpoint, I used to look at people and be like, I mean, you know, these sites, we could get on them, but they're not going to do it for free. They might do it for free on a favor, but then when they post it, what a lot of people never realize is the majority of these sites that's trying to charge you don't have views.
See, that's what
Hip Hop DX is not charging nobody. The Hip Hop DX, I'm gonna pull this up while you say what you're saying.
So I just got a sheet. You know, Asia's project came out, so we've been working it. Shout out to Young Darren. He got in contact with a couple sites or whatever. So one of them got back to us, and they sent us this sheet. And I'm looking at this sheet, and I'm just thinking, like, you know, first reaction is it's some bullshit. But I'm just reading the sheet. I'm looking at their rates, and I'm thinking like a business person. And I'm thinking, does this make sense? Is there going to be ROI if we make this investment, right? So my first thought is, I need to see your analytics.
Right. You think like that because you're an analytics person.
Right. Like,
now, from a PR standpoint, I will tell you this. it does help you to have clips, right? To a certain extent. Brand new artists like Asia, unfortunately, the bigger sites, because there's a reduced real estate for new artists, they may not fuck with it that much, but being able to say we got picked up here, 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 and here will help you. And if you have the budget to do it and they not beating you over the head about it, whatever, this is where we are now, right? Unfortunately, it is what it is. But you know, Hip Hop DX gets 6.2 million monthly visits.
And okay.
These sites that are charging you are not hitting 10,000.
Tell the folks how you found that out.
There's a site called similarweb.com. And you can go to SimilarWeb and you can pop in any outlet or any website address. And if that website has enough traffic, it will pop up. If it does not have enough traffic, it will tell you there's not enough data for us to tabulate it. And I think that number is somewhere around, like, they're not going to pull up nothing that's less than maybe 10,000 monthly views.
Absolutely.
Or monthly visits, rather. And then there's another site called Site Worth Traffic. That one will pull up any and everybody. And it will tell you, like, these niggas get 20 page views a month.
Yeah, and it's also just to add to that, there's Uber Suggest. But all of those sites, if you're an indie artist and somebody's trying to charge you for some shit, because like we said, sometimes you might have to invest or pay for something. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that just might be what you have to do. So you do it. But at the end of the day, the bigger thing is this a real actual investment, or is it just somebody trying to charge you for some shit and they know they're not going to deliver anything? When people see DJ Z and he's railing against these companies, it's because he knows that these companies are cheating people. It's not about money. It's not about business. Somebody came crazy at J Hatch on Twitter this week and got shut the fuck down because this was hilarious. They came at Hatch because clearly this person spent some money with him and didn't know how to communicate that they was frustrated about something, or maybe they just heard about some shit. But everybody came to this man's defense because they know he actually does great business, and the ROI is amazing. I was on Clubhouse last night. I said his name, and cats like Tunde were like, "Oh, yo, when I made my first beat, I was in iStandard. I met this person. I got an internship, blah, blah, blah." Like, bro, we changed lives. If you didn't go in that room and make that money you spent, even if it was the $10 to get in the door, if you didn't make that investment work for you, that was on you. But the opportunity was actually there. If there's no actual opportunity, that's where the bullshit is. And there's a lot of people out here, like, let's go back to WorldStar. WorldStar is fraudulent. It's a lie. They cap. The numbers are fake. And they've been beating y'all niggas over the head for God knows how long.
And they don't care.
Since the MySpace era, you know what I'm saying? And rest in peace to Q. But
not the MySpace era. It was after that.
It was like right after.
But it was the blog era. It was like they were era. Like it was definitely like in the blog
like 2008, era. 2009. But he was literally
because during the MySpace era, niggas was still paying for email blasts.
Yeah,
that was the lick.
They were. So yeah, no, I was like, it's that last little bit.
Oh Jesus! The evolution goes mixtape placement, email blast, blog placement.
gotta write a book
playlisting. I don't know where it goes after playlists.
We gotta write a book about
we should. Let's do it.
We gotta document the history of
because that's what I'm on. That's what I'm on right now.
Yeah, but anyway, you know, it's about return on investment, and it's about doing your due diligence.
I'm gonna drop one more. I'm gonna drop one more for y'all, and then I'm gonna go. These IG pages that are trying to charge you to promote your project. Like I shared, shouts to Rick Spice and Sweatbeats. Sweatbeats does the sound beds that I use for yesterday's news. And you know, the homie Ricardo he was in the chat with us for a minute. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's in our creator fam Slack. I've known him for years and years and years and years and years. And they dropped the project, a couple songs featuring my homie, Tez McClain. y'all know Music by the Homies is like a thing that I do, and it's a playlist that's certainly on its way back to y'all. I'm all about supporting my friends and the cool people I know, whatever. So they dropped the project and I posted it. The minute I posted it, somebody had a bot that's obviously tracking a particular hashtag, and they immediately jumped on my page and was like, come promote it on such and such page. First of all, it's not my song, so you talking to the wrong person. You ain't even bother to click. Never mind. But when these people come and suggest to you that you should pay to promote your thing, what I figured out that they're doing is they're marking up what they're going to spend on an IG ad to promote that post. A lot of times, if you go look at these people's pages, and all you have to do is pull up the Instagram page on a browser window and hover over each post, and it'll show you the number of views and it'll show you the number of likes.
Right.
All you got to do is go and take a look and see, like, what are their average daily posts getting? If this nigga is not breaking the 500 view mark on regular posts, but then every once in a while, there's one post that's got like 15,000, 20,000. They paid for an ad. IG absolutely. Ads work.
But see, here's the thing about
Cut out the middleman, my nigga, and just promote it on your page.
But you also can't tell. A lot of people can't tell because once that ad is over, it goes back in just a regular space and it retains all the views.
Of course.
So it looks like an anomaly, like, oh shit, that was lit. No, that was the paid post.
That was the paid promo. So all I'm saying to you guys is, yeah, sure, there's definitely some pages out there. There's some people out there that might be worth paying to promote. I used to do street promotions. I'll be the last motherfucker to tell you not to pay somebody to promote some shit. Like, that's what I do. To a certain extent, right? Like, we will sell ads on this podcast and promote your shit legitimately to people that, are tuned into us. And whenever you can reach somebody else's platform, great. But what they're doing is buying the ads. And when you buy the ads on IG, like, it's wide open. You have access to everybody.
Absolutely.
It promotes to everybody.
Let me tell you something. So, I wish I was a trash nigga. I have turned down.
Big sign. Real quick, I'm sorry, because Big Side just jumped in here, and Big Side was the voice of what is that? Schoolhouse Rock inspired ad to turn this motherfucker blue. So if Georgia,
I was in the clubhouse room with Big Side the other day.
Yeah, so if Georgia turned blue, I want y'all to know that Big Side and Fontigolo are partly responsible for that. Shouts to my nigga. Just wanted to say that right quick.
Legendary.
All right. Kid Cudi is now in the tech space as well. Cudi launched an app called Encore because, as Sis and I have been saying from the beginning of this year pandemic, y'all gonna have to figure out a new way because we're gonna be inside for way longer than you think.
Yeah.
And not only should you figure out a new way as an alternative to being outside, but we've also now gotten a real clear understanding of how fragile our previous ecosystem was. Because we all fucked up to an extent. And shouts to, the pandemic been great to me, Twitter, but that's not everybody's reality. So Encore, but has it though? Like, it's been great. It hasn't been horrible, but it hasn't been great.
It's what you make it. But I'm just I'm a nigga from the struggle, so I'm going to turn any bad situation into a good situation. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I've had a lot of conversation with folks about what they've done with their time in the pandemic. A lot of things would not have happened. I was talking to my Uber driver. He was like, "Yo, I wouldn't have met my wife." Like, it's just all kind of things that happened because niggas had to sit down. Besides the fact of there's a crazy virus outside, niggas had to sit down. Sit your dumb ass down and think, chill, take a break. Because the world was moving way too fast for a lot of us. All this information and all this stuff, we out here doing way too much. So the fact that I had to sit down, it gave me time to reassess. Now, I know a lot of folks who didn't have that opportunity, but for a lot of people they did. And they utilized that to pivot or change or do some other shit.
Okay.
Discover some things about themselves.
Let me rephrase what I meant by that. No matter how you spin this to your advantage, as you should, because we're adaptable creatures and that's what we have to do, right? Like we can't just sit here and feel sorry for ourselves and be sad or whatever. However, whatever that curve looked like for you, like I know for me, I had been in the house most of last year and the top of this year. So being in the house for another 2-3 months really didn't hit me. It probably didn't hit me till like June. And when it hit me in June, it was like, oh my God. But you know, people have lost lives and people have lost friends and people have, you know what I mean? Like, so just be mindful of the way in which we phrase these things. That whole, I don't know about y'all. You don't need to do
Yeah,
that.
no, that's that. Yeah, your
Do what
personal.
Sis just did. What you just said? Like, hey
Right.
man, it's been rough, but you got to figure out a way to pivot that thing and turn it to your advantage. Find the good. You know, I adopted a dog. I probably wouldn't have went looking for a dog if it wasn't for this pandemic. I don't know what this little nigga had going on with her life before this, but it couldn't have been this because she was in a shelter.
Right.
It worked out for Kiko
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
Petco.
No, it's very important. I mean, those people are weird. They got that weird energy when they trying to, it's like LLC Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like that weird
Exactly.
vibe of, oh, well, I'm doing this, and you doing that. And we don't need that. You can be successful, in any kind of space without like stepping on people to do it.
Without capping. So anyway, so Cuddy and his partners, who are people who are from the tech world, came up with this app. It's called Encore, and it enables live music experiences through smartphones, fan interaction, community-centered content, and merchandise offerings. So it's basically giving you a new way to interact with your fans, and it's giving them access to exclusive merch. This all sounds like things that you could do before, but now it's been centralized and localized and put in one place.
Right. Yeah.
So shouts to him. Y'all look into that. And somehow we missed the fact that Apple TV launched a new 24-hour all music TV channel called Apple Music TV.
Oh,
Did you know that?
I did not.
That happened October 19th.
Probably
And we
because I don't use
totally
Apple
missed that
Music.
shit.
I mean, shout out to the folks that's in the Apple Music ecosystem. I don't really fuck with them.
Well, we all know I don't either. But you can go. So it's MTV on Apple Music, like old school MTV, the MTV that we knew and loved. It's actual music videos round the clock.
No, that's fire. That's absolutely fire.
Do people still
Hopefully,
watch like BT jams and?
yes. Yeah. I mean, they still have time slots where those things happen. I just think we're so unused to those things that they're just not as popular as they once were. We're just YouTube is taking over. The streaming formats has taken over. So a lot of folks don't just sit there and watch videos all day like we used to. I mean, we used to fall asleep with the video channel on. You know what I'm saying? Wake up with the
Right.
video channel on. But,
For a period of time, when I used to work with a PR firm, and we used to have the TV on in the office, and we would put on MTV Jams back when it was still BET. Well, BET Jams back when it was still MTV Jams. It was a lot of music discovery for me. That's how I discovered Jack Harlow. That's how I discovered his name now is Saint-Ville, which is his last name, but he used to go by Vills, I think was what he used to go by before. He's a singer originally from Miami.
Yeah, I remember Vills.
Y'all remember 4 a.m., the song that he had? There's a lot of artists that I discovered on there. And I think it's still like, if I had like regular cable like that, or if I wanted to be bothered with having access to regular cable, let me phrase it that way. I would still definitely do that. Like go and just put on. But I mean, I do it with playlists now. I do it like with the streaming devices, right? So like if there's an artist that I fuck with or a song that I fuck with, start a station, keep one ear kind of peeled to it. And as songs pop up that I like, go and figure out who the artist is. I just discovered this. There's a Congolese Belgian female artist named Luz in the Yakuza. Fire. She's so dope. But that's how I found her. Like, we've talked before about the global bop station that I listen to on YouTube Music or whatever. Put that shit on. Something comes up that I like. Go and look into it. And you know what I mean? But I'm a fan of music discovery.
Are you got the MTV Jams? I mean the BET Jams plug? Because I had an artist hit me up about that.
I maybe.
Let me tell you something. I have turned down more money this week from artists who want to throw money at me because they don't have any outlets or anywhere to go, and they just want to spend
We should
money
talk
on
about
shit.
that.
I mean, you know, I'm anti-scammer guy, so I'm like putting them up on game. Like, bro, this ain't the way.
I know, but there's a way to put them up on game and then redirect that so that money still comes.
Oh no, that's coming soon, but that's
But that's what I'm saying. So we should talk about it.
Yes,
because I have a way. All right. I want to shout out also my homegirl Kathy Yandeli. Kath was the person who co-wrote Prodigy's prison cookbook with him, and also one of the writers who contributed to Decoded. Also last year released a book called God Save the Queens, which is about women in hip hop. It starts from, the earliest that we can think of, goes all the way up to Meg. And she is now getting ready to release her next book, which is called Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah.
Yeah, Kathy is a legend.
I love Kath. She's fucking dope as hell. So the book, according to a press release released by Simon & Schuster, is dropping on August 17th.
Damn, she got that Simon & Schuster money?
Yeah, well, she been. The last book was one of those type of situations.
Good to see hip hop in those spaces.
Yeah, and you know what? She put me onto the plug, so I'm next. I got next. She got 2021. I might be pulling up on y'all in 2022, or maybe she got August. I might be pulling up on y'all in December. Who knows?
Okay, so let me get that forward. That's all I'm
saying. So the book is it focuses on the span of Aaliyah's life and career from her earliest beginnings, singing in Detroit, all the way through to her game-changing musical era with Timbaland, Missy Elliott, and the late Static Major. And it says the book also includes a deep dive into her tumultuous, abusive entanglement with R. Kelly and an intense investigation on the crash that ended her life. Apparently, when that information got out, a lot of people tried to come for Kathy's neck, like maybe she was being exploitative in talking about that part. But I think that we do ourselves a tremendous disservice when we sweep certain things under the rug.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you cannot tell Aaliyah's story and not include R. Kelly.
No, you can't.
No way.
It's literally a part of her journey.
It's absolutely impossible to do.
I don't know what it is, but I always forget that she's from Detroit.
Right. Because we associate her with R. Kelly, who's from Chicago. That's what it is.
Or Timbaland and them who are from
Virginia. Or from Virginia.
Right. That's just, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's nothing that ties her back to Detroit like that, for real.
Right. Yeah.
So, Kathy had to come up and be like, hey guys, no. Like, one, I'm actually a fan of Aaliyah. Like, I'm not just doing this. And I need y'all to be able to discern the people who are of the culture and who are in it. Like, y'all, Google be right there, dog. Like, Google be right there, my nigga.
No. But they see her skin tone and they be like, you ain't. Listen, y'all don't know who's in these fucking streets. And this is my problem with young Black people. Do your fucking research. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know who been doing what. People have done shit that you benefited from and you don't know.
For years.
Y'all just coming at everybody.
Kathy was my editor at allhiphop.com over a decade ago.
Oh, yeah. No,
She was my editor over a decade ago. That means that over a decade ago, she had put in enough work to be over other writers. And a decade ago, I wasn't no motherfucking slouch. I had already been in the game 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, know who is for you. Like, the last 2 books that she released should already tell you where the fuck she at.
Absolutely.
It's all you had to do. Literally, really, honestly, all you had to do was go and read the intro to her last book, where she tells you her whole fucking story of how she got into this game. So you could be like, oh, okay, cool. I would much rather have her be in charge of telling Aaliyah's story than fucking Robert.
There you go. And she took the time to do it.
Or the people, wasn't there an Aaliyah movie that we were all mad about?
Oh yeah, that shit was terrible.
Okay, well there you go.
That shit was
anyway,
so bad.
Y'all can go pre-order that
now.
Remember
we was in that horrible Lifetime movie phase?
Yeah, man. It was an interesting time. Okay, 2 more really quick things because I know we've been on current events for a little minute. Oh my God, my dog in this hack that she's been doing all day. My dog is trying to figure out. Huh?
Do they got doggy codes?
But I'm being like a real hood ass mom with this situation. Like, nigga, is you eating, you playing, you drinking water, we good. You don't need to go to the doctor, get some tussin. What's the dog equivalent of tussin? That's what we need. So real quick, apparently before he passed away, Nipsey Hussle was in discussions with Nas to do a documentary about I Am. Now, we know that there was a documentary that came around, it was written. And so the look on your face is the look that I had on my face. Like, why would we want to do a documentary about I Am? Is that what you were wondering?
No, I did. But when I transport myself back to the actual time, what I Am was supposed to be is completely different than what I Am and Nostradamus turned out.
And that's what the documentary ends up being.
That was one of the most fumbled, botched releases of all time. And for those of us who had the bootleg, man, that version would have been legendary. It's kind of wild.
Right. And so that's what they were going to explore was, you know, how the leak affected the project that we ended up getting. Also the fact that while it may not be one of Nas's most critically celebrated projects, it was one of his most commercially successful projects. Interesting that Nipsey would be the one to pull up and be like, hey man, we should do this. And maybe, you know, since Nas is out here in his documentary bag now, he got 2 under his belt, maybe we might actually still see that. Who knows? Second to lastly.
Hold on, let me pivot real quick if I can.
Go ahead.
Talk about your boy Davies.
No, let's not.
We're just gonna shout out Davies, his homophobic ass. Still wasting his time coming after Lil Nas X. Let that man live, bro. Stay in your space, let him stay in his. That's all I got to say about that.
Right. Like Mike Tyson said, like, fam, you're very concerned about what gay people are doing for somebody who is not gay.
Very concerned.
Also, like, just because we know that he's actually gay, but like, you act like
that's the thing. Like, we know, first of all,
it was fucking Halloween, my nigga.
But still, we know it's not like this guy is like he's a dude out here living his life. We already know who he is. It's fine. Like, why are you worried?
You know what the internet completely missed? Quincy, I'll be sure, and Diddy's son, Quincy with the 2 dads. Quincy dressed up as Frida Kahlo because, you know, he already got the Kahlo. He already got the unibrow anyway, so he dressed up as Frida.
He got that from his other dad. Yeah.
Yes, that's what he inherited. That's all he took. He took all of Albie's face and Diddy's swag. Now y'all know what happened if a dark skinned nigga got to be light skinned for a moment. Quincy is your answer.
There you go.
That was a horrible thing to say, but I'm a product of the 80s. I say horrible things sometimes. Yeah. So Lil Yachty was able to jump a sinking ship. Come on. That was a quality pun. Never mind. Lil Yachty had a show on Quibi called, where's the name of the show? I'm going to pull up the name of the show. But it was a TV show that was based on Yachty's life, and it was on Quibi. And it was called Public Figures. And he has managed to land a deal to continue that show at HBO Max. Now, what makes that exciting for me is that Quibi content was like very limited, like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Whereas HBO Max gives you the potential of maybe like a full hour show or hour episodes. And is going to be written by the creator of How to Make It in America. That makes me really excited.
That's dope. Oh, yes. That's super dope.
Public Figures is loosely based on Yachty's life. He is starring in the series and working behind the scenes as one of the executive producers. And the show's premise involves what it's like to be an aspiring influencer living in New York City.
I probably know who the music soup is going to be. Interesting.
That's exciting. I feel like music supervision is in my future. I would like to do that.
I want to be a music soup, but you know,
I want to be an old ass music soup. Like, I want to be 55 and be like cool as shit and tapped in and
we need more black people in music supervision.
Oh, well, then there you go. Thank you for helping me speak that into existence. You know what we don't need?
Who don't we need?
Guys, in June, businesses and organizations made us all kinds of promises about all kinds of shit that we didn't ask for, but that were offered to us. And we were like, I mean, this ain't what I asked for. I asked not to die. I asked for police officers not to just be able to walk away with killing people in their beds as they sleep and then turn around and sue that person's boyfriend. That's what I asked for. But okay, sure. Like, we'll take the urban department not being called urban anymore. Well, now the Grammy Awards have announced that they are changing the name of world music to global music in an effort to address connotations of colonialism.
Who the fuck thought of that? Who was sitting up there like, this is what we should give them? Of all the things the Grammys could do. And, you know, I've been to the Grammy office. I know a couple people that work for the Grammy structure. What the fuck is going on over there with y'all? Like, this shit is so performative. And I hate the word performative. I hate the word performative.
Let me give you the official quote from the letter. The letter that they sent out to Academy members to announce the change says, as we continue to embrace a truly global mindset, we update our language to reflect a more appropriate categorization that seeks to engage and celebrate the current scope of music from around the world. Over the summer, we held discussions with artists, ethnomusicologists, and linguists from around the world who determined that there was an opportunity to update the world music album category towards a more relevant, modern, and inclusive term. So that term goes from world to global. Like the what? I don't understand. And English isn't my first language.
Yeah, but
I'm fairly certain that if I Google globe and synonym, world gonna come up, and vice versa.
You know. How about y'all fix these fucking categories and stop
putting the whole entire world in one space?
Right. How about we do that? Because, okay, here's my thing. We got a Latin Grammys, which is dope. So why don't we, if you're going to do that for Latin culture, why don't you do it for other cultures?
What? You mean since the whole entire continent of Africa is influencing everybody's music right now, we can give them their own Grammys?
Including Latin Grammys. Like, Africa's, you know, they're influencing what's going on in Latin music right now. So why don't we have an African Grammys?
Yo, speaking of which, you know how the other day we were like, who the fuck knew that there was a hip-hop culture in Portugal? 1% of our podcast listens are actually coming from Portugal right now.
Wow. Shout to Portugal.
Shouts to Portugal.
I'll be back with some
the same word in y'all's Portuguese as it is in Brazil's Portuguese. Obrigada.
Obrigada. Yes.
Because I didn't know, but I pulled that up and I was like, huh.
Y'all can call me Cizinho.
Mm-hmm. Cizinho, you're funny. All right, guys, this would be the time of the show where we would tell you who is sponsoring our situation. But we ain't got no sponsors except for Bounce Gang. Shouts to Bounce Gang.
Can we be sponsored by Stacey Abrams?
I mean, yeah.
The queen of the clapback.
My Black Girl Magic and the Black
Has there been a better clapback?
Right? Like, word, my nigga, I can't have the job that I won fair and square. Bet.
I'm going to tear all this shit down. I'm going to tear all this shit down. She tore it all down.
All the way down.
Shouts to she's not even done. She's not done.
Shouts to Stacey Abrams. Are we refreshing? We should be refreshing IG in a second. Shouts to everybody that's rocking with us on IG.
Mikey hit the refresh.
Come back. We really would appreciate y'all. Because now we're going to talk about music.
Mikey hit the refresh.
Hit that refresh, guys. Pop out and pop back in.
Right back.
As Sis did. As Sis did. Yeah, Sis is on his extra Philly shit in the background. Y'all see that? Repping for the Sixers. Repping for the Sixers. Y'all know I be fake singing. So if y'all need a backup singer, harmonizer. Y'all need somebody to hit that ooh, 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 ooh one good time. I got y'all.
Jesus.
All righty.
Not the bang. The bang.
I think I'm about to bring out the bangs. The hair about to switch up this weekend. I'm letting y'all know right now. New hair alert. Next episode, I'm gonna be a whole different bitch. There we go. The flip has happened.
Hey.
Flip. Have you seen that video with Elmo dancing a little flip, and he changes from red to blue?
Game over.
Yo, these memes are really A1. There's one right now of Trump inquiring about these mail-in ballots, and it's a picture of Sealy talking about anything come for me.
Oh man, we are some ingenuity people.
Somebody else did one where it's like Georgia mail-in ballots be like, and it's that BT Awards performance with Puffy where Lil' Kim came up from the ground.
Can we give North Carolina honorable mention? Because they almost went blue.
Almost. And Texas. Texas came way closer than we thought.
They did.
My chiropractor, who is Dominican, pointed out that, like, if you look at all of those traditionally red states that turned blue, that's where the Mexican and Central American immigrants are. Nevada, Arizona.
No, absolutely. Those cultures play a huge role in the shift that's going on right now in the country, demographic wise, also. So, we definitely got to give them their props for showing up. I mean, because this nigga been trashing them the whole time. You know, just Mexicans is rapists and, this, that, and the third, and, lock them up. And
when, like, you're literally the actual rapist.
How about that? You're
literally, it's fine.
How you up here calling?
I ain't gotta remind nobody. I ain't gonna tell nobody you got 3 different baby mamas. I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Welcome back, y'all.
Did you see Aubrey O'Day dropping all the tea, all the shit that she found out about their family when she was on Apprentice / Donald Jr.'s side chick?
Oh, I did not. I'm gonna have to catch up on
that. Aubrey was out there talking like, first of all, y'all niggas don't even like Barron. First of all. Y'all don't even fuck with your little brother. Second of all, Ivanka don't even like boys. Jared Kushner, she don't even. She was out there. Out there. All right, guys. They still
do those marriages of convenience.
Of course,
that's a big thing.
Listen, not for nothing, but the world was a much more balanced place before we got this idea that we had to marry for love. Marriage is a convenience, I mean, shit. Like you gonna grow to love the nigga. Y'all got some things in common. I have a friend here in Atlanta. I'm not gonna say his name because he's now engaged, and so I don't want to be disrespectful to his actual fiance. But for years, I used to go tell that nigga like, "Yo, like let's just be a power couple right quick. Like we don't even have to be together for really long. Like we be a power couple for the length of one season. So like we start in the summer, we be real hot and heavy for like the whole summer, fall." Break up in the spring. Break up right in time for you to cuff up a new person. Elevate both of our social cachet in the process. I speak mad languages, my nigga. I'm an asset.
We gotta cut deals. Like sometimes we gotta do that to move on up. Mutually beneficial situations.
But y'all want to be in love. What's wrong with it? Anyway, I'm just playing. I love love. Love is awesome. I want to be in love too. All right. Let's do albums, since the albums that are worth talking about dropped last week, because this week was kind of a dud. Maybe because the elections, they knew that nobody was going to be paying attention.
Probably. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
And I mean, honestly, it wasn't like a dud. It was just a dud for us. Like, because Brooks and Dunn dropped the Christmas album. Billy Ray Cyrus dropped the project. Who else did I see that like Kenny Chesney dropped the Christmas? Well, that's when all the Christmas albums came out. But it wasn't a whole lot of like big things that dropped this week. Last week, however, Busta Rhymes had to hit that you. And he told y'all he was coming. And he told y'all for many years that he wasn't playing. And that when he came back with this project, that he was coming back to show y'all that, like, no, this is not like, oh, look at Uncle Busta's still out here rapping. Nah, nigga, like, put me on the same level as you do everybody else.
Man, listen, I'm so glad Busta came the way he did. Yeah, no, this project is fire. I mean,
the project is called Extension Level Event 2, The Wrath of God. It is the only sequel project that Busta Rhymes has ever released. He dropped the first version last Friday, and then he came back on Tuesday with the reloaded version, which is 26 tracks versus 22 on the original. And on the extended version, that 26th track is a song called Calm Down featuring Eminem. I feel like we've heard that one before. Have we?
I don't know. I don't think I have.
Let me see when this came out. Yeah, he released this like forever ago, back in 2014. It was like the first kind of, hey, we're coming with this project. So back in 2014, he dropped this collab with Eminem, and then he came back and added that to the reloaded version of this project. I'm gonna tell you my 2.5 complaints about this project. Really, you could probably even say like just like 1.5 maybe, because I don't think like none of them are reason enough for me to not listen to the project again or whatever. One, I could have done with way less Chris Rock. Way less. Way less. Or I could have done with Chris Rock with a script.
Okay.
Because clearly they put Chris in the booth and gave him whatever libation he requested. And said, nah, OG, do you. Well, you know what I'm saying? We'll cut it up. Mix it around. Put it where we needed to go.
Would you have preferred Dave Chappelle?
No, I'm fine with Chris Rock. I would have preferred Chris Rock with a script or Chris Rock one good time.
It's only 5 years left, niggas.
That's it. I would have took Chris Rock on the intro and been fine.
I feel you.
My second complaint, when I saw MOP, Belle Biv DeVoe, and ODB, I wanted actual features, not samples.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of knew that was going to be what that was.
Oh, yeah. You called that Belle Biv DeVoe joint.
Yeah. That's probably... Did you have another one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll let you get to the other one.
But shit, I just forgot what it was. So I guess maybe it wasn't that. It's a little long. You know, we've already talked about the length of projects. It's a little long to me. And there were a couple like moments that were a little cringy to me, but like you said, you know, it's a 50-year-old man rapping. And so, you know, 50-year-old Black men who come from our era in our culture say cringy things. Shit, 40-year-old Black women named Ty who come from our culture in our era say cringy things sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just say them behind closed doors and don't put them on albums.
Right.
So that was my 1.5 complaints. You want me to save the things that I was really excited about until after you say what you were going to say?
Nah, go ahead.
What excited me? I just happened to come across a tweet the other day where somebody was asking why Rick Ross is underrated. And my original response to that was that I don't think Rick Ross is underrated. I think he's rated where he's supposed to be at. Mm-hmm. But after Master Fard Muhammad, we might not give Ross enough credit. Maybe Ross doesn't give us enough material for us to be able to give him that extra oomph. But yeah, like that might have been the highlight of that project for me.
So I think you're right about Ross being right where he should be. I think that for me, it's the fact that we get there's like 3 Rosses. We know what they all sound like, and we kind of get the same. We've been getting the same thing over and over for years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
like Ross, he's not going to capture anybody new, or he's not going to dip out and grab another subsection of a fan base. Which means if you're a person and you have things that you're into, like we like different types of vibes, right? There's a part of me that Rick Ross just doesn't appeal to, and that's cool because But I'm not going back to listen to Rick Ross's whole discography. I listened to one song, and that sound like 30 of his other songs. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, Ross is definitely he definitely showed his ass on that record. This whole project. I mean, I will say my least favorite record was the Bell Biv DeVoe record, but
not the Rhapsody.
Nobody.
Okay, cool.
Nobody else could have even pulled that off.
Right.
That beat, that chop was so difficult. It was just too much for me as far as the chop. Like I was waiting for the hook because the chop was so harsh.
Yeah, it was.
But Buster was floating on it. So, it wasn't Buster. It was just like, yo, y'all could have done a little bit better with the beat as far as like y'all could have gave it some composition or something. It was just literally a nigga hitting the MPC. Like you just kept hitting the loop.
Yo, do you still like listen to beats sometimes and just like imagine how we would have reacted to that shit at a beat battle?
Mm-hmm.
Because I listen to shit a lot and be like, yo, we'd have been rolling our eyes. Like you would have been like just like bopping, like, okay, like this is so predictable. Like almost like when you hear a rap battle and you kind of already know what the pun is gonna be off the previous word or because you've seen that rapper rap before. That Best I Can featuring Rhapsody didn't sit well with me. It just didn't. I'm sorry. Like this whole like let me write a rhyme as your baby mama apologizing for keeping you away from your son. Like
for me, it was so I like you more than I did when it first came out.
Waiting for you the whole time I was playing the project.
But I still don't like the Vibes Cartel record.
Yeah, I really want.
I think that's the one record that just doesn't fit in this project. I think a record like it could have fit, but for me, if I was going back through it, that would be the one. I'd skip that, and I'd skip the Bell Biv DeVoe joint. I like the way they implemented ODB into the track. And here's what I really like about this project. This feels like extension level Event 2.
Okay.
It feels like you can listen to one, listen to this, and it makes sense cohesively. Like they got the same production, the same producers. Like he went back.
And you know what? You did say listen to the first one before listening to the second one, and I didn't do that.
And the thing about it is, it also doesn't sound dated.
No, not at all.
And that's the fire part about it. So I'm on there like, yo, Rick Rock, Rock Wilder, Pete Rock, you know what I'm saying? Knots, like I'm just like all the homies and Focus, like he man,
Focus.
When artists and producers get together, it's a beautiful thing. And that is the one thing that you feel from this project. Busta Rhymes respects the producer. He respects the beat, and the beat respects him. He's got one of the most iconic flows, and he's just so versatile as an artist. And this is art. Like for me, this is audio art. Busta Rhymes' voice, texture, everything about this project is just art.
I will say this though. There were a couple of tracks on here for me that sounded like your retirement party. Not like you're washed, not like you gotta go, none of that. None of that. Like, let's be clear, that's not what I'm saying at all remotely. But it sounded like Dwayne Wade's farewell tour. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like the Q-Tip song is the one that really stands out in my mind. Really sounded like y'all niggas are saying goodbye.
Yeah, no, I feel you, definitely.
I thought Where I Belong being, You Know What I Want, or whatever that song was called with him and Mariah, part 2, I thought that was real cute.
Oh, that was absolutely
because it was literally even like a sample of the original beat.
Yeah, no, that was that. Like I said, that's why I said, yo, you could just blend this joint with the first joint, but it still sounds fresh. And overall, it's just it's. I'm glad that we can get a project like this from Busta 30 years later.
Yes.
Like y'all got to understand how long Busta been out in these streets, man, and for him to still be dropping it like this and spitting like this, he sound hungry. He's not giving I'm just going. It's not a throwaway project, man, and it's not a lot of artists who've been in the game who can put out a project like this. He put this out, and it's like cooked food where you can tell somebody loves what they did.
Mm-hmm.
This man, and you watch this journey, right? Shout out to Focus, watching Focus. We get to see a lot of insight into what's going on over there with Dre. And when folks go through the studio with Dre, it's a certain thing that happens. There's a certain respect that Dre and that camp have for artists, especially artists who've been out here killing it for a long time. And the way they get together and they create, you realize like this is going to be a project. Because this person is going around and linking up with folks who they respect musically, and they're going to come out with some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, I got a beat, and I'm writing to the beat. And that's what a lot of rappers don't realize, right? To get to that next level, you have to have that type of passion and that type of relationship with the person that's creating your music.
Right.
So if you get beats off of YouTube, you got to get to the point where you cooking with somebody, because that's a chemical reaction that you can't create any other way.
Unless y'all gonna, go to the extra step of finding the beat on YouTube and then reaching out to the nigga and building in whatever way, shape.
Oh yeah, no, it could start from there. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely want to take it to that next level.
Y'all gotta stop treating each other as disposables. I think it's really what it is.
Exactly. And to see, I mean, look, even with Jay with 444, it's him going in with the producer who he respects. You know what I'm saying? And they cooked something together. And it comes out a certain way because of the process.
Yo, I really want this nigga to come and get whatever the hell is in her throat and let it be out already.
Oh, poor Kiko.
Oh, my poor baby. So Common dropped the project last week. Very under the radar. Samville, who I just actually mentioned, dropped the project. Very under the radar. Wizkid dropped the project last Thursday. I only got 2 tracks in. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing, so I'm gonna have to come back and tell y'all how I feel about this Wizkid.
That shit's fire.
I got 4 or 5 tracks in. What I liked about it was that you could tell Wizkid, like, one, there was a lot of really fresh collaborations on there. But 2, you could see him kind of trying to. And I think Wizkid always does that. Wizkid is really good with playing with different things. Like, you're not really gonna get one-sided Wizkid. There was one song on there where I was just like, "Yo, I really just want African people and Haitian people to divorce the saxophone."
Not the saxophone.
Please. Eric Bellinger dropped the joint. Is that Kwame? Kwame dropped an EP.
Oh, okay.
Yo, so King Von dropped a project last Friday as well. And I bring him up because King Von was actually shot here in Atlanta. Yesterday.
Last night. It was last night. He passed away today.
There was a physical altercation, escalated to an exchange of gunfire with those 2 groups. This was outside of a hookah lounge, I think.
Yeah, downtown.
It's interesting to me because I had never really heard of King Von like that, which is fine. I'm an old lady. King Von does not make music for me. It's okay. King Von makes music for my nephew, who I'm old enough to be his mama. It's cool. But what brought him to my awareness was this meme that was floating around the other day where somebody asked, like, who's the best, or one Chicago rapper gotta go, and it was a bunch of photos of people I did not recognize, and Chief Keef, I think. Might not have even been, I don't even know who was in the damn pictures. Maybe Dirk. It was one motherfucker I knew and 3 other people that I wasn't really sure who they were. And the joke online was that King Von replied, somebody said that he could go, and that he replied to that person with like their location on a map and was like, "Is this you?" And then they were like, da, 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 and then it zooms into like the block. Is this you? And then it zooms into like the actual intersection or whatever. This was my first awareness of this guy. When I went and Googled him, I found out that clearly I was late to the party. Audio Mac had just written a story about him recently. Like, he was definitely bubbling in this project. Welcome to the O Block was his debut project, which dropped on the 30th. Y'all think about the amount of rappers, and you've said this before, Sis, the amount of rappers of this current generation who have passed away within months of their debut albums. This shit is fucking ridiculous, yo. This shit got to stop. Like, first of all, y'all are at a fucking hookah lounge during a pandemic, so okay. But second of all, what could it possibly have been?
Exactly. But that's the answer, and there's no answer that anybody could give that will be worth somebody's life.
None.
And that's where we got to get to. It's been a bunch of conversations this morning, Atlanta, Chicago, et cetera, et cetera. We know that there's violence everywhere, and especially around hip hop. We know that people glorified Chicago scene and amped up a lot of the altercations between people out there. It's really sad that this young man came to Atlanta and died. It's sad that he died, period. But he's out here probably on this music journey, and you got these little things. And when I say little things, I mean no matter what it is, it's a little thing. Between groups and people, and it comes down to this. It's really, really crazy. And we as a people have to do better. We have to have these conversations, these tough conversations with our youngins, with each other, and just say that it's just not cool. It's
not cool.
Like,
and I think that part of the problem is that these kids, I don't think that they understand the finality of shooting somebody. I don't think that it really clicks to them that the person could die, like in real life. I don't think the people who shot Pop Smoke went in there thinking, we talked about this, remember when it happened, that them niggas probably found out with the rest of us that he had died. They went in there to rob somebody. They were on there, they seen Soulja Boy talk very cavalierly about how he left off, he let off on them niggas, wop, wop. That's what y'all think is cool. But you're not understanding that somebody could actually fucking die.
No, it's all good until that gun is in your hand and you gotta do something. And
so, I mean,
and we lead people to that situation, and that's the part that has to stop. We got to stop glorifying these situations. I understand the politics of gang culture and things like that, right? But even within that, like, we have to be able to come together and be like, nah, this shit ain't what it is.
It ain't cool.
And ultimately, it's my last thing on this, but ultimately, we have a rift between generations that we have to heal.
Yes, because the youngins need OGs, clearly.
Absolutely, and these OGs need to stop being afraid of these youngins, because I know they wild and they crazy, but you got to take the time to be genuine and actually talk to them, not talk down to them, and really take them under the wing and explain to them that there's bigger and better. There was bigger and better out here for Pop Smoke. There was bigger and better out here for King Von. There was bigger and better out here for FBG Duck. There was bigger and better out here for all these cats who have lost their lives.
Pop Smoke was at the very beginning of his fucking... Pop Smoke was going to be a superstar, bro.
Bro, we lost... How many people we got to lose, man? Juice WRLD. It's just... It's ridiculous. Like, the shit has to stop. We have to protect home. We got to protect our culture.
And let me say this, because, again, I told y'all I've been listening to Louder Than a Riot, which is a podcast by my homie and former editor Rodney Carmichael and Sydney Madden over at NPR that analyzes the relationship between hip hop and criminal, the prison structure. This most recent episode obviously was very close to my heart because it's about mixtapes. It's particularly about DJ Drama's raid, which y'all know I used to work with the affiliates, whatever, what have you. I was probably one of the first journalists to report about that raid when it happened. But the one before that, the 3 episodes before that, were about the artist who used to be signed to Young to No Limit, named I think his name was Young Mac or Lil Mac originally. But and it was talking about how like they try to use the content of lyrics to put these rappers in jail. And this is not something new. Like, we've known that they've been doing this for a very long time. They follow people's social media feeds and so on and so forth. We have to figure out a way to resolve this problem without shitting on the actual music. The music isn't the problem, my nigga. Like, they've been making horror movies and mass murderer movies and fucking war movies, Fast and the Furious movies. There's all kinds of art that is fiction where, like, the people, you can consume the art knowing that it's fiction and not feel like you need to go and carry that out in your real life. Like, obviously, there's always going to be one anomaly. There's going to be one fucking weirdo who saw some shit in a movie and decided they want to do it, which is why every jackass, anything that ever ran, they had to say to you dumbasses, hey, like, maybe don't take a mallet to your balls. Maybe don't. I don't know. But like, we got to figure out a way to cure this without blaming it on the music, because the music is not the issue.
No, the music is the outlet. Like, the life for a lot of folks, because a lot of folks just consume the music and they think it's cool and they hype it up. But that's the peanut gallery, right? That's the people in the crowd. They're not actually on the field. They're not out here in the streets. It's not really affecting them in real time. These are people telling their stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell a rapper who's like on some bullshit and he just, making up whatever. But these kids are really out here in the middle of this shit. They're putting their life out on these records. And it's something that we should listen to. We listened to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was telling us his story. You know what I'm saying? All these other artists were telling us their stories,
Or we read Donald Goines, who was telling us his stories.
And absolutely. But, the one thing about Nas and Jay-Z and even Busta Rhymes and all these people is we got to see them grow up and change.
Yes.
We got to see them evolve.
God damn it.
The fact that we don't get to see these folks evolve. Like, King Von 20 years later wouldn't have been the same dude. I know gangster rappers from Chicago who now they're completely different people because they've grown and they've matured. They're not softer or any of that other shit, but they've grown.
Even if they were, like, is that not the goal? Is that not the goal to not have to live that same hard, difficult ass fucking life that you did when you were younger? Is that not the fucking
absolutely goal? That is absolutely the goal.
Nigga, nothing gives me more joy than to see tough ass, gangster ass dudes interact with their daughters. That shit is the most amazing thing in the world. Nigga, be the toughest thing ever till a little girl pull up. Then all of a sudden you got a fucking tiara on and you know all the words to the Doc Make Stuff in Time for a Checkup song. Like, let people grow up and soften up. So fucking
Listen, protect Lil Durk at all costs.
For real. So yeah, also we had talked about Queen Naija and Omarion dropping. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of those. However, I am here to put some respect on the name of one Ariana Grande. Y'all let that girl do whatever the fuck she wants to do. Y'all do not have another vocalist in her generation. Point me to a different one. Please point me to somebody who is doing the things vocally, technically, that Ariana Grande was doing on Positions.
See, and that's what she is. You got to respect the art of the vocalist, right? She is a fucking vocalist.
Like Mariah levels.
Absolutely. And
like Brandy levels.
And she knows it. And she keeps the right people around her. She keeps the right team. And they just keep fucking executing. That is a well-executed fucking project.
It's amazing. And then what I really liked about it is not only is she doing these really amazing things technically, vocally, but she's pushing The Weeknd. She's pushing Ty Dolla $ign to get on her level when they come on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, the subject matter is light and fun. It's like if Jhené Aiko made better decisions about boyfriends. Jhené Aiko is making I'm in love with toxic niggas music. Ariana Grande is making no, me and my boyfriend are happy. We're fine. he's an assistant manager at this store, and I'm an assistant manager at the store at the other end of the mall, and we go to lunch together, and then we leave and we
Right.
go to dinner together. He lives with his mom, and I live with my mom, and we're both straight A students. But we be fucking though. Oh, we be fucking.
That is the best assessment of Ariana Grande I've ever heard in my life.
She's a healthy 27-year-old. Like it's so fresh, but it's good. But it's good music.
It is.
It's
Absolutely
really, really good music. Who are some of the producers that were on here? Because I know you know like some people that are affiliated with her camp.
Tommy Brown is, well, TV Hits is definitely, I mean, that's her go-to. So
Okay.
He's from Social House. He is like one of her main producers. So let me just, because this project, like, yeah, you know, we got the credits up on freecredits.com. I did them personally. Like these, she keeps a really good team of folks around her. Tommy Brown, Travis Sales, Mr. Franks. We got a bunch of dope stuff. That was Shut Up. Oh, the Doja Cat record.
Yes.
Murder Beats, Tommy Brown and Murder Beats. Like, so Tommy is the guy who's like he's like at the center of every track almost. And then he like brings in other folks, you know, but he's like, I feel like he's her conductor. He's the guy that really, really, really understands her vision. And then, you know, Victoria Monet, Taylor Parks, like they all they're like the keepers of her core, you know, and then they just bring in dope people around them to execute all these different types of records. So
I love a creative title. So like there's a song on here called 6:30 and like the hook is like, I just want you to stay down. Like 6:30. Think of a clock, guys.
Listen,
right? You see it?
Scott Storch on My Hair. You can
Yo,
tell
my hair was, I was like, all right. And again, like, you know, there are very few perfect projects. Like I'm a Jay-Z fanatic. Like I would let them, if they were looking for a Haitian kid to adopt, I would wonder if they would consider a Haitian grown-up to adopt. I don't know. I found out the other day that Beyonce has beehives at her house. My grandfather was a beekeeper, so maybe I could be useful. But there's not a Jay-Z album that I can listen to from beginning to end without skipping. There's very few albums that I could really listen to from beginning to end without skipping anything. Or not but like, you know, that I typically do. So there was, you know, one or two songs on here that to me maybe felt like Ariana Grande no longer needs to prove to us that she's a grown-up. Like we got you, sis. We believe you. Daps, props. You don't have to prove it to us anymore. And it was definitely a couple of songs on there where I felt like she was still kind of in that space. But nah, beyond that, I enjoyed it.
You know, it's crazy. I think she makes those records. I think she knows who her fan base is. And she makes a lot of those records for them. And I'm just saying she makes records for women who feel that way or who are at that point in their life.
Gotcha. You know? So she's making it for them, for their reels and their TikToks. Yeah, she's not making them for herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you know, it's kind of like how she relates to them, you know, because I think she's grown as a person and we get a lot of that growth, but a lot of it is just fun and airy and, you know,
I love it. I love it. Really, really. So bravo, Ariana Grande. Those are the two projects that I listened to. Did you listen to anything else this week?
I don't think so. No, I was heavy on. I listened to Burna Boy. I listened to Ariana Grande, and I listened to Busta. Those were really my three I had in rotation.
I feel like we should start doing like a little playlisty type situation.
I mean, why not? Everybody else is.
But you know, so here's the tracks that we're kind of checking for this week, and you know, we will put them somewhere. Listen, y'all, my name is Ty St. Louis, and I approve this message as the non-technical arm of this team here.
Cap.
I want y'all to know that I am committed to bringing you content in November 2020. A vote for Ty is a vote for album reviews and conversations with producers and track lists, and not just me and Sis pulling up on y'all once a week and telling y'all how we feel about shit, which we enjoy.
I'm here for it because I would love to, you know, I would love to elevate this platform.
And if you would like to join my campaign,
yeah, vote for her.
Well, not just pull up and, you know, like let's talk about some shit. Anyway, the songs that we are checking for this week. 2 Chainz back. He got a song called Quarantine Thick, and I love me some 2 Chainz. I think y'all already know that I love Titty Boy. This is a Titty Boy record.
Absolutely.
It is featuring Mulatto, who I also my appreciation for her is growing by the second. Burna Boy dropped a new joint called 2010-20. Burna Boy can do very little wrong in my book. Y'all already know this. Bad Bunny and Jay Cortez got a joint called Dakiti. I'm using my accents properly. Lil Durk pulled up on Black and Young Thug for a record, which I enjoyed, but there was a line in there that definitely gave me pause. I can't remember what it was. What was it? But there was something there where I was just like, oh no, it was the part where he was just saying how, like, you know, he knows that that all the homies had hit and he still loves her anyway. And I was like,
yeah, he named all the homies.
Okay. That doesn't sound like you're okay with it.
Shout out to DY Crazy and Metro.
But sure.
Everybody hit it. Apparently the whole 808 Mafia hit it.
Jesus Christ. Mike Will Made It went and found Nicki Minaj and Young Boy Never Broke Again and did a joint called What That Speed Bout. Nicki is rapping again. That makes me very excited. I don't know what she does outside of music these days because I stopped paying attention to her outside of music antics many moons ago. But I can never discount Onika Mirage as a rapper and what she's done to push the game forward for women in hip hop. And anybody who does is a fucking dickhead, because if Nicki wasn't moving the units that she was moving when she was the only girl out, none of your other favorite girls would have got deals. I said what I said.
It's true.
I said what I said. And who else had new joints? We got a Buju joint that sounded like an old Buju joint.
Classic Buju joint.
Yes, classic, sure. And then there was, what was the other joint that you said?
The record that we're not going to talk about? So
no, we got to talk about it because nigga said she was bald-headed so her hair grew.
That was...
Black Youngster.
Black Youngster and... who's the other nigga from Memphis? Moneybagg Yo.
But the song was called I Met Tay Keith First, so we should have known some fuckery was afoot.
Yeah, and you know, shout out to Tay Keith. I mean, they all, you know, from the Tennessee. Yeah, I met Tay Keith first. So, you know, Black Youngster is a personality. But that shit was egregious, bro. That shit was egregious.
Woo! So yeah, guys. So I think playlist is going to happen. I'll say maybe like 10 songs a week, maybe 15.
Yeah, why not?
Because we don't ever really get to talk about all the things that we love. Maybe we'll rank them. Should we rank them?
Yes.
Let's rank them. Let's do that. Mm-hmm. We're gonna rank them. If you make music and you want to send us something to be considered, send. Don't DM us about doing interviews on this show, because who have you seen here? Once again, I would like to congratulate American citizens on your new... Huh? What'd you say?
If somebody show up, it's not going to be you.
I mean, the one person that we did have kind of featured on here was Royce the 5'9", and so that the bar is kind of set high. Hi, Royce. That Hi Rihanna will forever be a classic moment. Forever. Man, I'm about to tweet that. Anyways, guys, once again, I would like to congratulate you Americans on your new president. You know, you're at that point. The divorce is almost finalized. Just hold your head, bro. Hold your head. He gonna have to go in a minute. He's gonna have to accept it and go very soon.
And realize that we did this shit. Realize that we, the people, did this shit.
The black people.
And shout out to my brown brothers and sisters. Okay. Besides the Cubans.
Everybody but 55% of white women, 68% of white men, and motherfucking Cubans in Miami.
Everybody but like Cubans in Miami, y'all let us down. Like, damn, Miami. Hey, bro,
somebody pointed this out though. Somebody said people always ask how Mexicans in Texas can be primarily Democrat and Cubans in Miami can be so staunchly Republican.
But we all know the
they're
answer.
Very, very different people. Right. You got to understand that a lot of people who are in Miami, who are from Cuba, are people of means. They're people who left Cuba because Castro was trying to redistribute wealth. And the only people that are mad at wealth being redistributed are people with money. If you know anything about immigration in Cuba or immigration and Cuba, you know that the rules for them are very different than they are for all of the rest of us. And I say us because, as y'all know very well, like, I'm not just one of these Haitians claiming and waving flags. Like, I literally have a Haitian passport. Just renewed my green card the other day. You know where I had to go to get the photos and shit for my green card?
Where?
Nigga, they turned the old Velvet Room into an immigration office.
Hold on, what?
I got off at the exit. I was like, wouldn't this shit be funny if Velvet Room was the immigration office? It was.
That's crazy.
And me and the security guard cracked up because I was like, I swore I would never stand in a line to get into this building, and look at me now. Standing in a line to get into Velvet Room. But anyway, the rules are very different. And then somebody else was like, imagine your children being in cages and y'all voting like this. And I was like, do y'all not remember that Elian Gonzalez's illegally smuggled self was a whole, like, national sweetheart?
Yeah, like, you know, the wild thing is they got Cubans right now who are stuck in Mexico and they can't get here, and y'all niggas still voted that way. And
Yeah.
You know, but
because they don't listen. These are people who do not consider themselves like the rest of the immigrants.
Oh, at all. And they've been that way. It's a subsection. But the thing that I wanted to point out about Florida, I was proud of look at the rest of the map of Florida.
Yeah.
They showed up and showed out. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, the I-4 corridor, Orlando. We got Tampa back.
No, but it's only
we got Tampa and St. Pete back, and then Miami.
Miami was blue. It's
but here was
Fort Lauderdale.
No. Fort Lauderdale was 90% blue. Okay. Miami went from being Democrats 20 points up to only 8, and that's why Florida didn't flip, because y'all niggas in Miami ain't do your jobs. Miami, you fell asleep at the wheel.
And let me say something that a lot of people ain't gonna say, that may offend my political connects. I know rich Haitians that vote like rich Cubans, so I know rich Haitians who think that they're different from the rest of the immigrants as well.
So yeah, you know, at the end of the day, like we know that Republicans know how to pivot and try to get those Cuban votes. All they do is talk about socialism, and y'all niggas will vote, because as soon as you feel like somebody gonna come for your little check, you voting for a Republican. We get it.
Yep. Maybe now that we've seen what we've seen over the last 4 years, and that, you know, the rumors have been that if Biden got into office, what his plan would be to really have a very young and progressive cabinet. Maybe we can start really talking about how, like, it's a whole ass problem with racism in this country, but also classism.
I need Andrew Yang in there so we can get that $1,000 a month.
I don't know. He's talking crazy right now. Anyway, guys, the Chopping Block podcast is what it is. It is its own entity, and this is episode 40 motherfucking 4. Shouts to Sis for showing up and showing out all but 1 week this year. Shout to me for showing up and showing out all but 1 week this year. Shout to our producer Anatomy for sitting with us for the prep time and the recording time, and then giving this overtime to edit this and put this thing together for y'all. And shouts to you guys who tune in and listen and give us feedback and tweet us about the wild shit that we say.
We appreciate it.
As always, he is at Scissor215 on all social media platforms.
And you can find her at Saint Boogie, SaintBoogie.
And the show is at the Chop Block Pod on Twitter, at Chop Block Pod on Instagram. We are also on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. Fuck with us. You know we got it. We'll see you next week.
Go blue.
Go blue.